Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Lab Maniacs Month in Review stream. I am Dan, and I'm not paying attention to stream, so I have no idea where Cameron put me. But joining me today, as you may guess, is Cameron. You can see him somewhere. And our special guest appearance tonight is being made by Jim, who you've probably heard of because he's one of the Spikefeeders, and you've probably heard of them at this point. You can see him somewhere else around me. Probably below me, I think? I don't remember. Cameron, where's Jim?
Bottom left.
Yeah. Oh, no. Things were messed up. Things messed up. Okay.
How messed up? Really
I messed up names, so we're not going to... Maybe I might be able to do one that's really important. Because
well, I'm just going to keep talking while Cameron figures techie things out, because I don't do that shit.
Yeah.
So, as with last time, we are basically going to try and sum up things that have happened in the cEDH community in the past 28 to 34 days or so. And we will do this from a variety of standpoints. We're each going to talk about some paper games we've played. We're going to talk about some more of the broad meta things that have occurred. We're going to talk about maybe some things that got printed in a recent set and how they may have impacted games. And then we're just going to plug stuff that we're all going to over the next little while. So, Cameron, are you feeling ready to actually begin talking?
I just am about there. Let's see if we can do this.
Well, until then, we have a deck poll going on that that Mr. Liftbot posted. What is the best deck in cEDH? It's Paradox Scepter Thrasios. You don't need to actually vote. We all know.
Jeez.
Well, hey, he put the thing up. It's from a conversation earlier. It's fine. It's fine. That deck is real good, though.
Jeez. PST is so strong. We were doing... So, at the start of 2017, we were attempting to do budget cEDH decks. And we were... And,
oh my God,
and Season 3 was supposed to be us starting at $500, and then every single episode we were adding 250.
300.
Okay. People say my audio's low. Is this any better? Sorry. Let's see. I've got one other thing I can do. All right. People say I could be a little bit louder. All right. Sorry. Is this any better?
You're louder to me, Cameron.
I should be. Okay, people got it. All right. So we started at 500. We were adding 250 every season or every episode. And I was on Anala. She was pretty new. Dan, what were you on? Were you on Zur? You were on Tishana Food Chain.
Yeah.
And Siggy was on Teferi, and Luke was on Paradox Scepter Thrasios. And what Luke didn't realize was that he actually started at $250, and he still smoked us.
Like 4-0'd us. Like
4-0'd us. It was not even close.
It wasn't close a single one of the games. He just dumpstered all of us.
And it's just Scepter Thrasios is so broke. And so when he realized he was $250 under, he literally just added in Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, and a Mox Diamond. Or it was like Mana Crypt and a Mox Diamond. And he was at $500 now, and it was amazing. So, geez, PST.
Because those two cards used to be worth $250 together.
Yeah. PST, more like PTSD. Wait, no.
I like that deck. All right, so let's kick off the actual month in review of 5/9/2019. Why are we... Right, whatever. So... Cameron, would you like to talk about an interesting game/situations in cEDH that you encountered during the month of 5/9/2019?
Yes. Yeah. So new Planeswalkers, they're broke. They are so frustrating to deal with. Sitting in a game with it was a non-partner pod, and it was supposed to be really awesome. And then no one was playing aggro, and we sat under either an Ashiok or a Narset or both for the vast majority of the game. It was brutal. I like them. I like them a lot. I just don't like seeing them on the other side of the table. What about you, Dan?
Well, I have a fairly related note.
Okay.
not playing non-partners, because why would I not play partners?
Yeah.
We covered this already.
Yeah.
Narset and Ashiok are really fucking dominant cards. If you can protect them, they will take over a game. You can accidentally extract an entire deck's win cons with a single Ashiok minus. The trigger where it exiles everyone's graveyards tends to clean up things pretty efficiently. Also, they can't use half their deck, or like a third of their deck, maybe a quarter of their deck. How many fetch lands and tutors? It's like a quarter, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a lot of their deck. And Narset picks up like half the rest. So yeah, between the two of them and a couple of fat butt merfolk and cats, your opponents can't really use their decks much. And decks aren't built to deal with that right now.
So it's to the point that I'm actively considering putting the Elder Spell into Tasigur.
What?
Because anybody that doesn't have a Planeswalker will give it to me right away. I mean, if you are sitting down and there's an Ashiok on the other side of the table, and you have the option to give me an Elder Spell, you probably would.
If you don't have a Planeswalker,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that's fair. But like Abrupt Decay kills them already.
Yeah, but this kills multiple, so if somebody's like really far ahead, and you know, it's
have you
nice
run into a situation where the Elder Spell would have actually been?
Yeah, there were two Narsets and Ashiok in play.
Two Narsets and an Ashiok.
Yeah,
that's hefty.
Yeah,
man,
it was pretty brutal.
While I think the Elder Spell may be a little overcorrecting, I do think that the Walker push is slightly going to tone back a little bit, because playing Najeela anything is almost a direct counter to anybody trying to do Planeswalker control nonsense, like a couple of decks I've been fiddling with.
That is true.
And Najeela Tempo is easily one of the best decks in the format at this point. So having people just being willing to shift would probably be enough to cull some of that double Narset Ashiok board state presence.
That is true. That is very true.
I just want to take an opportunity here to Bears and Cars.
Oh, God.
Hear me out here.
Oh, no, I like it.
Real good.
Yeah.
I know you're doing it, Cameron. You're brewing it with them, aren't you?
Yeah. Have you taken a look more at Bears and Cars?
I have, and actually it's really sweet. I don't think anybody in the chat knows, but Cameron and I are actually brewing an Esper variant of Bears and Cars using Silas Wren and Tymna.
Oh, it's sweet.
It actually is really sweet. Like,
oh, yeah.
It's like Esper is a better color combination for this to begin with,
oh, yeah.
but Tymna and Silas Wren are infinitely better.
Oh yeah,
than Grand Arbiter or Lavinia as the commander for the deck. Just having recursion and card draw, it's insane because that deck empties its hand so fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I am riffing on that deck for a casual deck I'm going to build at some point, and I just jammed more walkers into it. It's basically the same deck.
It's like really fun.
I basically just made Super Frenzying cars.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
so
it does look fun.
Did you go as crazy as like Parhelion? I haven't seen anything.
No.
Okay.
I really like Parhelion a lot.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think it's right for the deck. I like it a lot. Like on
is
a
it
spiritual
10
level.
mana or something?
It's 6 mana for white and crew 4.
Excuse me.
White
6-drop with crew 4. Basically 10 mana.
If we had gone the Lavinia route and maybe done the Dream Halls thing, then Parhelion maybe makes it.
Yeah.
But
6 white. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. 8 mana.
It might as well be 20. Like you never
it very much so might as well. Yeah. Oh jeez.
Yeah. But on top of all that, one of the best parts about having partner commanders for Bears and Cars is that you've got 4 power in the command zone.
Oh yeah.
Which is way better than having 2 power from Grand Arbiter or Lavinia.
4 power, you say?
Yep.
Can I
So
interest you in a
can crew
Parhelion?
Just got to get that old 8 mana double white on board,
we
which I
we
guess
might
is...
be into more than one of these tonight. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My friends wouldn't even let me run Parhelion in the casual variant. I got so many like comments being like, "No, you cut Parhelion first. What are you talking about?" Like, what?
Yeah,
It hurt because I like Moonsilver Spear.
Oh,
That won me my first pre-release match.
Oh, nice.
But it's not great staple to an 8-drop.
So why not Timna Crom? So the nice part about Timna Silas, sorry, there's a message in chat. Timna Silas actually gets you your vehicles back. So if you just swing with Silas, one, he has Death Touch, so you can leave him back as a blocker and he can kill almost anything. And then if a vehicle dies or like there's a wipe, you can rebuild your board with him. That's pretty nice.
That's one of the weirdest things about playing this deck, and it's something that I only realized playing it, is that the deck is surprisingly resilient to board wipes if you've got a decent draw engine going, right? Because your creatures are only creatures for half the time. So you might get a board wipe and lose your hate bears, but you still got your vehicles and you're back online really quick. And likewise, if you lose your vehicles, you've still got your hate bears in play and you can kind of stall a little bit to rebuild. So it's kind of weird. You don't get totally wiped out by board wipes, even though you're playing a primarily creature-based strategy.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. The list I hadn't gotten down to 100 yet, and I think I need to touch base with you again to see where you're at on that.
For sure.
No.
I am very interested to see if it has legs in the broad meta.
It's got wheels.
That it does.
I approve. All right, let's get kind of back on track. Yeah. Here's a drink to that one. For sure. All right. So,
Cameron,
yes.
Is there any new spice / interesting developments / cool content ? That you want to talk about that has happened in the month of 5/9/2019?
So you do have access to the keep checklist that I'm working off of, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, I know that. I am a professional content creator who clearly is on top of things today.
Yes. All right. So as the point of the month in review, just wanted to go over some fun stuff that we found in the community. So there was a nice post about Gitrog cleanup step math, which it was nice. The part of war actually added the emergent zone, so I don't remember if that post actually covered emergent zone, but overall I got through about half of it before my mind went a little numb from the Gitrog stuffs.
Yeah, I fall asleep whenever someone posts a primer.
Even if it's yours?
When have I written a primer?
28 lands.
Oh my god, I did do that.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh shit, I should probably look at that thing.
Yeah.
That's been a while.
But yeah, no, the Gitrogs was just pretty fun to go through. But then right behind that, there was a Naru Meha deck tech that the 99 did on YouTube. And I was really interested in it because they talked about a lot about their local meta and how different, how their Naru deck actually did really well there. But I know I have tried Naru Meha before, and I've talked to other people who have, and it doesn't really do very well in the broad open meta. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jim, have you run into anything like that where some of your decks just don't really work well against some of the more meta decks?
Realistically, like I know Elliot plays a lot of Narumeha. We actually had a deck tech planned to release probably within 2 days of when the 99 released there, so we just delayed it. But yeah, it's kind of tough because our meta has been fairly insulated, right? Like you won't find the Spikefeeders on cEDH Discord. Like nothing against that. It's just not something we do, right? We've got a local meta.
Oh yeah, you don't need to.
Exactly. And so I find that, especially when I talk to people on Reddit or on Discord or anything like that, I find I'm talking about choices that we're making. Like one of the most notorious choices is that Elliot plays Withering Wisps in his Zur deck, like unironically.
What is Withering
Isn't that
Wisps? Is it
Withering
a
target
Wisps,
creature is
cantrip?
blue? Draw a card?
it no, Withering Wisps is a 3 mana pestilence effect that you can only activate with snow mana.
Oh, that one.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. It's not that you can't
What?
activate it with snow mana, but it's that you can only activate it a number of times equal to the number of snow swamps you control.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Um,
the hell? That
So
is
it's
a
a
very
pestilence
specific
that you
card.
can get with Zur, but you have to have snow swamps in play.
yeah, which I mean, you only need like
Multiple
one
snow
or two
swamps.
usually.
What? Snow
Yeah, I
covered
guess one
swamps? Yeah.
still wipes the board. Huh.
Yeah, you only need like one or two. But
Mhm.
in like a really hate bear heavy meta,
It's really good.
this
Yeah.
this wins games, right? It clears the way for
Oh
Zur to
yeah.
do whatever he wants,
How
So
many snow swamps is he on to support that?
two.
Hmm.
I mean, so theoretically, you could run snow-covered islands and/or plains in an Urborg, and you'd still get them.
Yeah, and here's Elliot in chat talking about Najila. It clears out Najila's tokens,
Yeah.
nobody's business.
Oh
You
yeah,
only
that
need
would.
one snow swamp in play, right?
That's solid,
Yeah,
but that is definitely a meta include. I know
for sure.
for
The
Tassiger,
number of snow swamps you control?
Yeah.
Wow, that is text on an actual magic card.
Old cards, they're great.
Huh.
I mean, I've been on the edge of putting in both compost and reap in Tassiger, but my local meta is super light on black. So a lot of them are like we have Isan, Selvala, Momer Vig, and there's one Tazri and there's one PST, and then there's like two other Chain Velta fairies. And so there's a pretty good chance that like 3 or 4 pods in a row, I will never see a black player, and both of them are dead. But in general partners, they're like total gas.
Yeah, especially playing into our meta.
Oh yeah,
You'll just
yeah.
kind of like get dumped on wishing you had a compost in play.
Or reap 2 mana instant, return 4 cards from your grave to your hand.
It's like Seasons Past, but good.
Yeah, at instant speed. It's pretty crazy. That was kind of the thing with Narameha that I liked, was just looking at it from a local perspective. Like Anala, I've loved Anala. She's great in my local meta, but the global meta has adjusted to Hulk too much, and so Grave Hate is all over the place. And it's like every game I'm going against a Grafdigger's Cage, so Anala's kind of tucked away until that stops happening.
Yeah, she is an awkward pick to play right now against people.
Yeah.
Like there are main deck extirpates nowadays.
Yeah, and like
Anala's-
when I was when we were sort of not when we were starting out in cEDH, but before we started making content, I posted a lot about Nin. I haven't played Nin as much in the last little while, but Nin was absolutely a meta call, right? I mean, I saw people taking a hard turn towards 4 and 5 color strategies, and I'm like, well, let's just Blood Moon them out, right?
Yeah.
We draw cards, we stranglehold, we stop people from searching, and it played really, really, really well in our meta, like higher than 25% win rate for a while at least, until Protean Hulk and all that sort of stuff started happening. But
yeah,
that changed a lot for everybody, I think.
Yeah, it really
It did.
Kind of turned the entire game up on its head.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. Other content. Spikefeeders. You guys been doing weekly videos. Been appreciating them. Always
For
love the
how
content.
long now? Like 2 years at this point?
No, we've been doing this since September.
What?
So
That
yeah.
can't be right.
Yeah, we're on our 3rd season. So we do 10 weekly episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Then we take a 1-month break in between.
Okay. I know we are a lot slower, and the geography is the hardest part. You guys being together makes it so much easier.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I couldn't even imagine. It's hard enough for us to get 4 people in the same room, and we live in the same city.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And Siggy in Germany, and yeah. No, it's a challenge, but Definitely appreciate the content that's been coming out. And you've tried some streams. We saw the one with Pongo.
Yeah, we did. We did our first stream when we hit 5,000 subs. That was at the end of season 2. But by the time we actually managed to do the stream, we were at 6,000 subs. Because
that's good growth.
It took a little while, but wow, the growth was a red one. Did you know red one is Team Jim?
Yes,
that's
I
a
did.
Fact.
Yes,
that's a fact.
Yeah, that was the one that I won on the stream.
Yep. Even though nobody bid on the Team Jim playmat for charity So I don't know what we're gonna do with that one, but I'll probably make a donation myself to Heart and Stroke because we're coming up on my 1-year anniversary. Let me see.
I can see the scar there.
Yeah. I had heart surgery last June, so that was why we picked Heart and Stroke.
Gotcha.
But yeah. But no, we've been doing these. We did one stream when we hit 5,000. We did that was just like a hangout, informal Q&A. We did a deck tech and a few other things, mostly Q&A stuff, and an excuse to give away a whole bunch of merch. Then we started talking to Pongo and a couple other people, and decided that one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about in terms of content creation, and I know this, like I've been writing articles since before we did Spikefeeders, but mulligans are probably one of the hardest things to write or talk about. Just because like there's so many variables, right? So we figured one day Pongo came into our Discord server and just started posting opening hands, and he said, "Would you keep this or would you ship it?" And he posted like half a dozen of them, and I said, "This would make a stream. Why don't we just draw opening hands and talk about them?" So it turned out really, really well. Bill's running that now. He decided to do Najeela because obviously that's what he knows more about Najeela than he does about other decks. But I think the plan is going forward, we're going to be doing that kind of stream, but with other decks and other sort of notable people that have decks associated with them.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
With the merch thing, I know that we had done our community stream at the launch of season 3, and we had given away some stuff during that stream, and it took a little while to get everything out in the mail.
Sorry about that, guys. That was almost exclusively on me.
A bit of it was on me too, but we were also waiting for stuff from Siggy. Siggy sent several things over from Germany to me, and I reposted them to other people. So everybody that did get something, it's in the mail or should have already arrived by now. And
I've actually seen several posts of people who've gotten stuff. I know the Lab Maniac has arrived. I know at least one of the playmats has arrived.
Sweet.
And I think most of the signed Remoras have also arrived.
Sweet.
But
I'm glad that happened.
On all that.
All right.
Oh, I saw those signed Remoras. That's sweet.
We have fun with them. I know that we sent them out to all of our patrons as a Christmas gift one year, and I think we'll probably start shifting through some of the other staples that we can. I know Dark Ritual.
Yeah, we're going to run Mana Crypt next time.
Oh,
and
God.
one after that's going to be Underground Sea. So get your patronage in so we can afford it or something.
You should see, maybe I should sign up. I've got the grungiest 4th edition Dark Ritual that you have ever seen in your life.
I saw that in that. Oh my God, that thing was special.
So
it's in my like Staples box, so it's next to all my masterpieces, like my OG. It's like this grungy Dark Ritual.
Nice. I have a copy artifact that's like that, and I swear it had been like water damaged from somebody a really long time ago. Before the spike, I think I traded for it at like 50 cents. And the thing is like
the artifact spiked?
Yeah, it spiked a while ago.
It's expensive. Everything's expensive now.
Copy artifact is like it's up there now. Let's see.
Come on. We're all looking now. Jim, haven't you had that Dark Ritual for like 40 years or something?
Yeah.
I had it. I played it when I was like 12. That was just after I got into Magic, when that would have been right around 1995, 1996 maybe.
I'm not sure I could walk then.
So yeah, that was like 23 years ago.
How does it feel to be old?
Not great.
Okay.
I did like a live action video game thing the other day, and when I say the other day, it was 2 days ago, and I still can't move. Like,
Oh, was that one of the VR things?
no, it was like actually a physical. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was
Oh.
very like physically active, and
Oh, wow.
I
Oh, like
am
one of those
not
Wii
very
Fit
physically
things.
active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, my physical activity is walking to my lab.
I do that a little bit too around work. I need to do more. But back on Magic. Set review. War of the Spark. I was really happy with how all the cards that we've seen thus far. This has been such an amazing set. And it's out now. And cards are arriving. I still have like two pre-order packages to get here. I really
Not
want to get
bad.
my Narsets reversals.
So quick, everyone, what stuff have you gotten from the set that is absolutely going into decks?
So there is one that's kind of contentious. It's Karn. I don't necessarily know if we want Karn in all of those decks, but it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. I can't even talk about the stuff that I've opened.
Oh, because you haven't opened it yet. Yes, we will get
Oh,
to
we
that.
have opened it.
Oh,
We
you
opened it
have.
last night.
Oh, okay.
But I can't talk
Oh,
about
is
it.
that
It'll give
you
everything
didn't do
away.
any like pre-releases? You didn't
What I did was the weekend that it came out, it was a friend of mine's birthday, and he invited me to go draft at his cabin. So he just bought a box. He pre-ordered it, so he got it on pre-release weekend. And we just went and drafted it at his cabin all weekend. So
that sounds awesome.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, there were two boxes, and then we drafted a bunch of Powered Cube.
Nice.
And yeah, it was a riot, but they were all his cards, so he got them all back. That box was nuts too. There was one of each god and two finales and an Ugin. Yeah, the box was insane.
I just want to say, Oketra is absurd and
She
limited.
Is bonkers.
Oh yeah,
that card is basically unbeatable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god! We got rocked in the finals of a pre-release from that card.
And the fact that you can't get rid of any of the gods, like there isn't a really prevalent pacifism, and even then,
you want to know how you get rid of them? Ashiok. That's how
I
get rid of gods. Ashiok.
No,
that works too.
But is it a triggered ability? It is a triggered ability. Yeah, you can't Ashiok her. Yeah, okay.
Ashiok works
because it changes zones. Yeah.
they only tuck from the battlefield, so mill and then exile is totally fine.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty positive Ashiok hits 4 specifically because of those gods.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that is a good answer. I've been debating whether I want to get an Oketra for 8.5 tails.
I think you might enjoy her in that deck.
Yeah,
Oketra is strong.
Let's see. All right, moving on. New stuff. So, did any of you guys try to buy Mythic Edition?
No.
Yes. Am I the only one of us three?
I was so busy at work I couldn't get them.
All right, let me put on my angry hat.
Okay.
I can't find it.
Yeah, you're so mad.
No angry hat for me. What the fuck, Wizards? Somehow you managed to have a release even worse than the first Mythic Edition debacle, and this time you used a website that people pretend is a functional website, and it still went horribly wrong? Like, they had 50,000 people trying to buy this 12,000 copy thing. It sold out in 6 minutes, fucking relisted somewhere else, maybe by accident. No one's really sure. There are probably like 20,000 people who got got no cancellation email, had a confirmation email, still won't get their product. I got denied because PayPal just didn't pay them the first time. My first order was submitted within 7 seconds of the hour striking. So like 7 seconds after it went up, I had an order listed. And that got canceled because PayPal just shit the bed on like how many thousands of us. And then to top it all off, After it was relisted, I still went and I got one. Got my confirmation email, and then Wizards emails you and is like, I'm sorry, we oversold. We don't have enough. We're going to go ahead and cancel your shit. And as payment, they're shipping everyone a uncut foil sheet of Mythics. It's like $500 to fucking frame an uncut sheet, let alone shipping it to someone to cut. It like their apology letter is like $200 in a padlocked box that costs $100 to open. Like, how is any of this good? Hasbro is a joke. Oh my god, it was not worth any of it. Not fuck.
So, tell us how you really feel. So
I'm pretty sure in my eBay review, I left the comment "fuck Hasbro," and then it said no profanity, so I put an asterisk instead of the U.
So there's some good stuff and some bad stuff. This was the best Mythic Edition ever. Straight up, it was the best one ever.
Yes,
and we actually got to see the demand for it, because previously it was just their site crashed. And now, because you could see that they sold 50,000, that there were 50,000 people wanting to buy this in under 10 minutes. And that's WotC just printing money at that point. There is no way that those cost more than, no way they cost more than 30 to 40% of the actual cost of the product.
But, if there weren't only 12,000, you can knock off a solid 15, 20,000 of those orders.
Yeah.
Because the exclusivity, I have talked to dozens of people and barely any of them had any interest in the cards. I am maybe the only person I know who wanted to open it and keep every single card except maybe Sarkhan, because what the fuck are you going to do with a Teamer Sarkhan?
Yeah.
Everyone just wants to flip it. Pay $250, get $900 back. Like, yeah, of course, it's arbitrage. That's what you do. But like,
because eBay has them for $1,200 now.
Yeah, like, they're going to stabilize between 800 and 1,000. But the point is, if this wasn't limited edition to that scale, there wouldn't be demand to that scale.
That's true.
If this was just, yeah, you can get these alt-art planeswalkers, they'd have gotten 20,000 orders for their 12,000, and it wouldn't have been nearly as absurd.
Yeah, that is true. They did get, though, like 3.6 million in 6 minutes.
Yeah, but after fees and after so much, it's not going to work out like that. They're probably taking home maybe $1 million profit on it, like, which is still great, I guess, but it also makes them look like a total joke of a company again. As if they hadn't just finally recovered with War of the Spark for the first time in years, and then they go and like take a dump on a soccer ball and kick it into their audience. It's just not good business.
Oh man,
it's just not good stuff.
I think we can move on from Mythic Edition now.
We really should. Okay. We really should. I'm getting redder at this point.
Yeah. So we have Nimbuzit Reborn. And we actually missed something that I wanted to talk about earlier, which was that that really hilarious Shaper Tribal episode from Spikefeeders.
Oh yeah.
Do have to call it Shaper. He definitely has a lot of the decks that are out there right now. He's done a great job, and appreciate his work. But Nimbuzit Reborn, I actually haven't played with it yet. Have either of you guys? Or I mean, there was in the episode, but
yeah. Well, Jan played it in the episode. It runs very similar to Food Chain Tazri, right? Like it's not an entirely dissimilar deck to Food Chain Tazri. I think what makes it interesting. It will probably get better as time goes on. Because every once in a while they're going to print a creature that fits into it as an outlet.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You mean like basically every set?
Right, exactly, yeah. Right? And then every once in a while they're going to print one that's insane because nobody at WotC is looking at cEDH decks for balance, right?
Nobody is. Yeah.
That's not necessarily true. We know there's a Godo player, so technically one of them might. but
That's really funny.
the wrongest reasons.
It's actually super funny that you say that because I think it was our second or third episode ever. We had somebody message us on Facebook. His name's Chad. Chad, I don't know if you're watching in the stream right now, but if you are, because Jerry made a joke after he shuffled his deck. He's like, I'm going to reveal the card that I just shuffled in because I think it was a Chaos Warp or something like that. He's like, I'm going to reveal the card that I just shuffled in because of the Moto Shuffle Bug. And Chad messages us and he says, hey guys, I'm a software engineer on MTGO. Can you send me screenshots so I can log this as a defect? And I'm like, no, like Jerry was just joking.
That is brilliant. That is
but
great.
anyway, yeah.
Clever.
So we do have one guy at WotC that watches our show.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is 100% confirmed. I know this for a fact. A Godo commander player who will occasionally seed sets with a card he wants in Godo. That's how we got Helm of the Hosts. Literally, a card designer at WotC wanted to have Helm of the Host for Godo in his EDH deck. So he got Helm of the Hosts into Origins or M19 or whatever the hell it was in.
Wow. Okay.
So there is someone sitting. So I just need to find somebody at WotC, convince them that PST is the best thing you could possibly do to have fun, and just see what they give me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're out there, let's talk.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
to your question, I have not played Niv Mizzet Reborn.
You haven't. Okay.
I don't food chain well. I lose badly.
I know Luke did. Luke's got it, and we'll have to see it from him soon. Narset's Reversal.
I probably will, actually.
I haven't been able to cast one yet. Have either of you guys gotten a Narset's Reversal off?
I don't think so. We've played 2 games on camera that we haven't released yet. We filmed episodes 7 and 8, which are next week and the week after. I don't think anybody cast Narset's Reversal in those ones.
Okay.
I have not had the good fortune of drawing it yet. I've played like 4 games with it in my deck and have still yet to actually encounter it, which makes me sad, but it's also not the kind of card I'm going to tutor for, so I'm not worried.
Okay.
I'll probably dunk on Tyler tomorrow for a Saturday with it when I head down to play some games with them.
I know I bought like 10 of them just because I feel like they're never going to go down. So Swan Song was a sleeper, and when Theros rotated, I bought like 3 play sets of Swan Songs for $0.25 a piece, and they've just been slowly climbing. And I don't think Narset's Reversal will really dive too heavily.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I have 2 foils on the way, courtesy of my card hookup Smurs.
Nice. Smurs, you're awesome.
I picked up 30 Dictate of Erebos when Theros rotated.
30?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That card's gone up too, hasn't it?
Yeah, I bought them for like 75 cents each.
Oh,
yeah, that's
nice.
the Grave Pact with Flash, right?
Yeah.
What are they at now?
I don't know. They're like $5, $6, $7 probably.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like an order of magnitude growth.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Pretty good.
Cam, you're phasing out, apparently, says the chat.
Yeah, unfortunately...
Wait, Cam is?
Yeah, it's because I'm using a green screen and it doesn't have a solid backing on it, and there's sunlight coming in through the window, and so I've got a little bit of a challenge there. Yeah.
Are you using a green cup too?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
We are consummate professionals.
Yes.
Me in my undershirt.
Perfect.
Cameron with his green cup on his green screen.
Yeah.
With your computer covering your torso.
Well, yeah.
We are nothing if not excellent at what we do.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping to get the low. What are you guys thinking about that?
Oh, nice.
Wait, isn't that?
That is a little sticker. Oh, that's awesome. It's so cute. It's so cute.
Yeah.
But
I don't have any stickers.
Yeah. We don't yet. Maybe we will make decals at some point. Our logo definitely works well for it.
You know who made these? Madison.
She's amazing.
No way.
Yeah.
So she
Shocker,
alters cards, makes logos, and runs your website?
Yeah, she runs our website. She is in charge of all of our merch. She,
Is she an astronaut too? Is she like
I
a Harvard law professor? Can she fly
Probably.
unaided by machines?
Oh man. Does she have a feather deck yet?
Does Madison have a feather deck?
No. Just moving on to the next topic. But
You know who does have a feather deck?
who's that?
Who?
Braden.
Oh,
Who's
yes, he
that?
does. He's the guy who wrote the
Braden,
primer. That's our. He's
he wrote the primer on the cEDH subreddit over there.
Yes. But Dan, are you still there? You seems
Yeah,
like you.
I was just seeing if you would think I froze if I held still and didn't talk. It worked.
Okay, it did. You got me.
Now I can get him whenever I want.
Yes, he's confirmed. No, so Feather, there is some interesting stuff with it. It looks like it's pretty much a Boros paradox engine is really what the deck is. The most interesting piece of tech is casting instants at your end step, so that they'll come back at the next end step, and you don't have to discard them.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an interesting way of maintaining the card advantage that you.
That's cute.
Yeah, it is. So it feels like there is some stuff in there, but I haven't got a chance to play with it yet to see how consistent it is, because it just feels like you're just spinning your wheels for a while looking at the deck.
That was so I have a feather list that is similar to Braden's that I had goldfished a bit to just see if there was anything there. And the issue I kept running into was that it is actually pretty easy to control the board and draw cards, but none of them do anything.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of like plonk people with feather for like 5 or 6 in a turn, and you don't get anywhere from the bit of testing I gave it, which isn't much because, I mean, let's be real, I'm not going to play Boros, but it felt better than any Boros has ever felt before.
Yeah.
And I would play it in a casual pod, which is infinitely more than Boros has ever held sway over me. So it is a significant improvement. It just doesn't feel quite. It's still Boros. Like Feather's pretty cool, but like the supporting cast is still red and white cards, of which most lists run 2.
Yeah, you don't have any solid 2-hand tutors. You don't have any good mana ramp, and you don't have any really great permission. You only really have 2 or 3 pieces of permission that you can use. And so you're stuck to out resourcing when you don't have good mana. It's fighting an uphill battle quite a bit. But
yeah, I mean, I play a lot of Boros in casual. I've got this Annex and Siamese deck, and Feather actually plays relatively similar to Annex and Siamese.
Yeah.
Because really, at the end of the day, it's a heroic tribal, right? You're looking for targeted spells that draw cards and have some sort of ancillary benefit. I don't know that I'm ready to take that deck apart in favor of Feather. I'll definitely play Feather in the 99 because Annex and Siamese plays really weird as like a hybrid Ultron / Go Wide strategy, in that the creatures that you play in it typically have some kind of benefit from being targeted, so that if Annex and Siamese, you've got other targets for all of your target spells. And Feather in that sense is incredible. But I don't know. I haven't really played it. I did read the primer. Thought the primer was great. I don't know. Maybe we'll play it on our show. We play a lot of everything on our show, so you know.
Yeah, you
we'll
go quite a bit deeper than we do.
Yeah, like honestly, when we're looking for decks to play on our show, it looks sweet. Yeah, sure, let's play it. Is it good? Who knows? We'll find out. You know.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Now, we hit Godo earlier, but I did want to bring up something about it. There was a big post about the Godo updates for War, and I looked at it and I read it, and then I kind of laughed because all of the updates were colorless cards. And it was just kind of interesting how even though they're red, the strongest cards that they can get added are all colorless, just because they're needing to dig that deep into the card pool. And some of them are kind of like the opportunity cost is super low. So Emergent Zone or Blast Zone, the opportunity cost in a monocolored deck is almost nothing. But if you're in a partner deck, it gets really, really hard to say you're going to run a colorless land.
Yeah, it's got to be
Can't
doing
do it.
something. Yeah.
I wouldn't play a colorless land that ETB'd and drew a card.
Hmm.
I just don't think the mana base could afford it reasonably.
Yeah, in Tasigur we have Strip Mine, but it's also because we're abusing Loam. And if we weren't abusing Loam, then we wouldn't run Strip Mine. Like that, it's that hard. But otherwise, there's no other colorless land. It's too hard.
Yeah, every deck I've played in the past 2 years has been so color hungry that I mean, it was at the point where even like monocolor decks like Teferi initially weren't. Now he is, yes. Now he's running Sapphire Medallion, but he wasn't running cards like that because it just doesn't do much. And in 4 colors, that issue is even more amplified. Like there's, man, I think in some of my earlier PST builds, the Scepter High Tide variants, I was on like no generic costs outside of my artifacts except for like 3 or 4 spells in the deck. Like the thing was almost exclusively colored pips. So I don't know. Colorless lands are a really hard sell for 3 color and up. And I don't think that either of the ones printed in War are sufficient, which like makes me question if there is a threshold that is ever going to see print to make me want them. Like a goddamn engineered explosives on a land is not good enough. Like that card is super good. So what's it going to take? Isochron Scepter on a land? I'd probably run that actually. I would run an Isochron Scepter on a land.
Brainstorm on a land?
Colorless blue tap Brainstorm?
Discard a card Brainstorm?
Discard a card Brainstorm. I don't know about that.
I mean, if you're gonna have a spell card, it's got to be a spell shaper. So
yeah, but Blast Zone's not.
But you sack it.
You sack engineered explosives. The comparison's different. I'll take colorless ETB tapped, makes colorless, imprint an instant with CMC 2 or less, 2 tap, cast the instant. I'll take that. I would play that land in 4 color. But I don't know as I'd play much else, honestly. Now I'm thinking about it. This is actually kind of an interesting exercise. What about you guys? What for decks you play consistently? What would it take to get a colorless land, like actually reasonably, not Isochron Scepter stapled to wastes, to get you guys to play one?
I play a lot of 2-color decks.
Oh, so, you do, right? That's
so you can do that.
Question.
But
so like play... I can play 10 or 11 colorless lands if I want to.
Yikes! Yeah. Even in Blood Moon decks like Nin?
Sure. Usually what I do, actually, the funny part about Nin is that because they're so, like, in my earlier versions of the deck, I didn't even run all the fetch lands because you just don't need it. It's a blue deck. Yeah. And then realistically, like, as long as your land, you can draw cards with Nin. So.
Huh. How about you in Tasigur, Cameron?
If there was an exploration on a land, that'd be pretty solid. What was the other one I was thinking?
To Lurker's point in chat while you're thinking, I actually don't run Ancient Tomb in every PST variant I play because it's not even helpful to me a lot of the time. Specifically because I do like to go heavier on dorks, because I like to set up the turn 2 Tymna, because I'm playing them a bit slower than things like Shaper's build with Plunge into Darkness and stuff. Ancient Tomb is rarely in the PST lists I play unless I'm playing a Primer list or similar straight. So even Soul Ring minus stapled to a land wasn't good enough for a lot of those decks.
I think I have one that I would play. Enters play tapped, does not untap during your untap step. Your lands are all basic land types. I think I could play that. So Prismatic Omen on a land. And I think having it not untap would be the balance for it, that you're skipping a land drop to get perfect mana.
Does this get banned in Modern?
Huh.
Yeah.
That's an interesting card. That's also kind of cheaty because it's not a colorless producing land. It's a.
But it doesn't untap. So it doesn't even produce mana.
Yeah.
It does seem super strong. The other thing, like, so I have always wanted an Urborg for the other land types.
Oh my god, blue Urborg, please.
So white Urborg would have been awesome. Red Urborg would have been awesome. I mean, you kind of have that in Blood Moon, but you want to add that.
Red Urborg.
This is for this is for casual. This is entirely for casual. Yeah, blue Urborg would make High Tide work. It just would, 100%.
Yeah,
but
blue Urborg is not printable at all.
It personally, I feel like they possibly could get away with a white Urborg as a counterpoint to black Urborg.
Sure, they do some cute black-white stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think they could really get away with any of the other ones.
So would we have a corresponding Plains Ploffers that makes a bunch of white mana?
Nah, don't need it.
It would make 8.5 tails pretty cute.
I mean, you already have like Nykthos if you really want that.
Yeah.
And you have Serra's Sanctum.
Yeah, you get Serra's Sanctum.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. I don't necessarily need it. I mean, 8.5 tails as a casual deck, it only has 15 basics in it. It has 36 lands and 15 basic planes. And very regularly, I will have all of them in play. Like, there has been one game in the last 10 that I did not have all 15 in play.
Wow. That's... Why? What? How? What the fuck? You wait, alright, so hang on, let me stop you for a second. Before even that point, you 9 out of 10 games had 15 plus lands in play?
Yeah. Because they can't end the game if they don't have a board state. And you're just blowing it up whenever it's really scary.
15 plus lands.
Yeah, yeah. So when you're
I didn't even have 15 lands in my 12-hour game.
So you abuse Sun Titan, you abuse fetch lands, and you abuse fetch lands with Ring of Brighthearth, and
that does work.
And you use Terrain Generator.
Oh my god, Kevin, this sounds so bad. This just hurts.
It's okay. At some points, I am a filthy casual too.
Fetch lands, rings with fetch lands.
It's pay a life and 2 mana, get 2 mana.
A monocolored deck. God, this is.
Does it hurt you more to know that all the fetch lands are foil?
Yeah, it does.
I don't
have a single foil fetch land, and oh my god, those things are like $300 now.
Are they really now?
Maybe they're 150.
Okay.
I'm getting close. I've got my 9 out of 10.
Oh.
Wait, 9 out of 10 judge promos?
OG pack foil.
Oh,
that's fancy.
Yeah.
I have 0 out of 10.
So I don't have Misty Rainforest or Scalding Tarn.
Oh, so the expensive ones.
Oh,
yeah.
The
although I guess
ones
actually
are the Onslaught ones.
Oh, I have Flooded Strand and Windswept Teeth and a Polluted Delta out of Onslaught.
You have the Judge Prom ones of those, right?
I have those too, yeah.
Yeah. I love the Judge Promo Onslaught foils. I think those are clean.
They are.
Yeah.
Polluted Delta, really Flooded Strand, and Judge... I know. I love that about them.
Yeah.
But that might just be me.
No,
I really like the
100%.
vibrancy of cards like that. My favorite forest is the Autumn Avacyn Restored because it just jumps at you.
Yeah. Have you seen the Mirrodin Swamps?
Yes.
The Mirrodin
foil, those are nice.
The Mirrodin Swamps in foil. Yeah, sorry. I have to actually find.
I don't own any, but I wish I did.
if you ever remember like the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies from the 90s, how they had the green ooze and it just glowed so heavily. These cards make the ooze glow at you. Like, they are the best. Sorry guys, I'm having to try to find this. And the screen's scrolling like
You
crazy.
scroll so slowly.
Did we pass up? Nope.
I see Elliot in chat saying Expedition Master Race. I
I
could agree. I could agree with
can
him, but like
understand that.
then we'd both be wrong. So nobody wants
Uh,
that.
I would have loved
Nope, I
if
passed
we
them.
could get Judge promo frame, like that brightness and that vibrancy of those, specifically the Maynard Expedition fetch arts,
Mm-hmm.
because those are some of the most gorgeous arts in Magic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't like the way they got done by the Expedition foiling.
What is
I think the foiling on the Expedition fetches does a disservice to the art.
I think I was really hoping for M20 that they would do like masterpiece old cards. I think that would have looked so good with like new Oracle text, no flavor text, just old border in foil would be incredible.
So many people thought Dominaria masterpieces were going to be basically that.
Yeah.
Like a riff on the old frame, but I don't know how they managed to not think of that.
There we go.
Yeah.
Finally got him.
Like, honestly, I'm pretty sure that was one of the more upvoted threads on Reddit that I've ever seen on the Magic subreddit, when someone was like, hey, how about old border masterpiece Dominaria cards of Dark Ritual and like
that would have been
Demonic Doom?
awesome. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it would have been incredible.
I mean, the set still sold really well, but still, I mean, come on.
This one right here is my favorite. In foil, I don't know if you're looking at the stream. In foil, the ooze, it jumps at you.
Yeah, that
and
one's
it is
so nice.
good. Thanks, Rathram again. I did not know where Mirrodin was in the timeline. I actually started in Lorwyn, so
8th starts Modern. Mirrodin came after that and Ruin Magic.
Yeah. They have yet to do an artifact set, and we all know that. So, all right.
A balanced one, maybe.
A balanced one, yes, that's right.
Well, technically, we got Urza's Destiny. That was in, well, or all of Urza's was
Combo Winter. I'm sorry.
Or no, it was enchantment set. Fuck, I don't remember. Whatever.
It was
no, that was an enchantment set. Ignore me.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So that's done with Godo.
Yes. So as we have gone through this, we've asked about some topics to talk about, and we actually have 3 really great ones. So staples for interaction, and why not. So the really big one is Arcane Denial, and everybody is so contentious about it. And there was like the single most active thread of the year on competitive EDH subreddit about Arcane Denial and the math behind it. And it's really funny because Dan is 100% against Arcane Denial. And Jim, where are you on the boat for Arcane Denial?
I'm fine with it. It's he's playing some decks. With like, I kind of lump it in with, and before you, but I would lump it in with Pact of Negation in that if you're using it to protect your the game, it has no downside.
Yeah.
But it is not a free counterspell. It is not a free counterspell. I can acknowledge that. But if you are using it to protect a
Jim, you're breaking up a little bit, and I don't know if there's something going on.
I can't disagree with you there, because you are demonstrably correct. If you are winning the game that turn, yes, it is not a downside, 1 generic and a blue hard counterspell. That is technically, yes, you are correct.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Did my video just disappear?
It did.
Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can get it back.
You see half a white-haired person's face.
Bear with me, folks.
Yeah, so my issue with that thread specifically was what Lurker just posted. The conclusion of the OP was that Arcane Denial is still a bad card. It is just not quite as bad as everyone said, but it is still very bad. And then Like the whole thread turned into Arcane Denial is actually pretty good. We should play it, which I disagree with wholeheartedly.
Mhm.
I don't know as I would play Pact of Negation at 1 mana, let alone 2 mana. Obviously, that's a steeper downside than Arcane Denial, but my issue with Arcane Denial is that there is no one random card off the top of your deck that is necessarily better than 2 random cards off the top of your opponent's deck. And so the situations in which it is better for me to draw a card and have my opponent draw 2 cards are the situations in which you are legitimately just pub stomping. If my 1 card is better than any 2 cards that my opponent can draw, you are not playing equal power level decks. Like, it's just not true. So if I'm playing Arcane Denial, it means I am telling myself, yes, I am pub stomping right now. And I try not to pub stomp, so I can't play Arcane Denial.
So what I found really funny about that article is they used the exact same math that I was using for a really long time to run it in Tasigur, where you're needing cards as a resource. And although you're giving somebody else 2 cards, you end up being -1 card to the table instead of -2 cards to the table. And when you're trying to look at it that way, I totally see the math. I've gone past it though. It got replaced with a Stubborn Denial, which was pretty solid, and then that got replaced by Narset's Reversal. And so it really depends where you need it. If you're needing a unconditional counterspell, and it's really hard there.
Also, sidebar, now that we have cards like Arcane or Narset's Reversal coming down the pipeline, I have a feeling the Arcane Denial discussions probably we're going to end up getting kind of like shoved into a box, sealed up with tape, and buried under the 30 better counterspells we're going to get.
I would totally agree. It is going to come up discussions alongside 100 classics from cEDH.
Something about Vlasics? Why are we talking about Pickles, Jim?
Am I cutting out?
Yeah, it might be the actual Discord call.
Discord was being a shit earlier.
Yeah, let me try reconnecting. We probably all should really quick. Sorry, guys. I see Dan back.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Welcome.
That was my attempt to imitate Discord's "You have a call" sound. How was it?
How you doing, Jim?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay.
Excellent.
So
you were saying something about Vlasic?
Yeah, as I was saying, when you're picking your pickles, you got to go with Vlasic.
I don't know.
They got that crisp. No.
Yeah, realistically though, I think it is still going to come up alongside other meme discussions, such as whether you have your 100 hours of Boros.
Yes.
Which is now more likely to happen with Feather.
It's true. That's very true. Yep.
But I think we now have Dovin's Veto, we have Narset's Reversal, and I think we can kind of bump Arcane Denial a little further out of the discussion. So
yeah, I mean, if the discussion ever comes up, like, do you need a 12th counterspell in your deck? Then
condescend.
Maybe we talk about
it. Oh, all right. Other interaction. Is there any really other contentious interaction?
No. It's mostly just everything up to Arcane Denial and then nothing below Arcane Denial, because that's all garbage. Mm-hmm. I mean, Arcane Denial is garbage too, don't get me wrong. But, it's at least the contentious garbage. It's the top of the heap as opposed to the just, way buried down at the bottom there.
Bloody Arcane Denial dropped out with the last major push where I shifted to Adnos. And that's when it hopped out. And it hasn't been back since. Let's see. Well, we can move on to the next one. What's the most important spells to disrupt in the current meta decks?
Flash.
Paradox Engine.
Ad nauseum.
Ice-Run Scepter. Jim, do you have any?
Yeah. Not really. Like, those are the major kind of usual suspects. And same goes in our local meta. Um, I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's
We
a
have a
few getting
little
thrown out in chat.
we have a little bit of World Gorger Dragon,
Okay.
and a couple other like funky ETB things going on. Like I don't think he still runs it, but Bill was running Bane of Progress for a while.
Oh my god. I mean, that
Oh.
card still shows up in Eson decks occasionally. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know, between Jerry playing Brea and
Oh.
other like World Gorger things, like Torpor Orb put in work
Oh yeah,
in
that
our
one.
meta,
Yeah.
along with Tocatli Honor Guard and Hushwing Griff. You get to play
Oh.
3 Torpor Orb effects in Bears and Cars, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
While that might be great for your personal meta,
Torpor Orb doesn't quite do it in the large,
yeah,
unfortunately.
it's pretty
Yep.
useless at this point for at least every meta I've seen on PlayEDH, Lab Maniacs, and in paper. I rarely encounter
No.
meaningful ETB effects. I don't even see Reclamation Sage anymore.
So, kind of to think about it from a broad perspective, everything that we're mentioning is actually an engine. It's not an outlet or some sort of massive advantage push. So none of them are actually the way people win the games. It's how they get to their win condition, their infinite mana, or they get an overwhelming tempo. So they're
And
big.
half of them draw you 30 cards, so that's
Yeah.
a bit of a game changer. You want to stop that because then they have counter spells.
Yeah. Well, so Flash is kind of how they win. It sort of is, but it sort of isn't. They don't actually win with Flash. Flash is the engine that enables the win. Yeah. So we're looking at the enablers. We're not actually looking at the win. Whereas in most casual games, or even in tournament games, you're almost always looking at the win itself, not at the enablers, unless you're
even in Flash, it's just enablers all the way down. You have Flash to get Hulk, which is an enabler for either a mill pile or something, which is an enabler for a Dread Return, which is an enabler for another thing, or you're doing Shuffle Hulk lines, which are enablers for like the actual real, true, literal, strict win con that wins the game is almost irrelevant because at the point they've set up their cascading chain of enablers, you've already lost.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason people scoop to that half the time.
That is true. That is true.
Yep. And we're actually, I don't know if you guys saw, we did a video on Cheeky combos.
Yeah.
It's going to be a series actually going forward where we kind of address these sorts of things. The next one that we have coming up, I don't know when it's going to come out, probably next week or week after next, is going to be on Muldrotha Image. So that one should be kind of fun because there's like a million things that happen in that combo.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but that's like we kind of structured it so that we could say, here's what the combo sounds like when people shortcut it. So, in these situations, it would be like, wow, cast Flash. This is like what it sounds like when somebody's about to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went in to talk about, this is like what's actually happening. These are the steps that they're walking through.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is how you can like actively disrupt their plan while it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then finishing it off by saying this is how you can prevent them from getting to the point where they're ready to win.
That's really solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of the type of discussion that we're going to be picking up. We also have one recorded for, I think we've got one recorded for Dramatic Scepter.
Okay.
And the next one that we're going to be doing is Teferi Chainveil.
Nice.
Are you going to do a 12-hour long one on Razaketh combos?
Well, yeah. But we're going to be, like we are going to tackle some of the ones, but I think we're probably going to have to split them up into smaller chunks.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think for Gitrog, we'll probably have one for, this is how you dredge when you're playing Gitrog. And then the next one will be, this is how you actually win the game when you're playing Gitrog,
Which one? There's like 6 different ways.
Yeah, no, and I'm not even going to touch that one. I'm just going to get Leptis to guest narrate it, and then he can talk about it for 6 hours,
Yeah, so. He's good at that. Can confirm.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, why don't we move on to... Oh, go for it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the sort of the purpose behind it is we want people to really deconstruct these win conditions and think critically about the ways to disrupt them, the ways to prevent them, exactly like this kind of a discussion.
Hmm. Oh, that's solid. I will be looking forward to that. I always love new content in the space just because it brings more attention, and that's kind of the biggest thing that we've been working on for a really long time is just more people in cEDH because it's so fun.
For sure.
Oh wait, that's been the point. Shit.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't be so mean all the time.
Everybody calls you out, and you're just giving people a hard time. It's all good. All right. So Jim, when should I interact proactively instead of waiting to see if somebody else is going to do something?
That's a good question. So you're talking about your first in priority order, or at least early priority order, waiting to see if
Yeah, I'd
if
assume
somebody
that
else
you're
is
the
stuff.
player B here and you're waiting to see if you should potentially punt and lose so that players C and D can spend mana, or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with paying attention to the game state that's led up to that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're paying attention to whether people have been actively tutoring up until that point. You're paying attention to whether they've played potentially the card that they've tutored for. And I wrote about this a little while ago in a threat assessment article. But one of the things that I do when I'm playing is when people tutor, I'm actively trying to guess at what they're tutoring for.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I just ask
and
them.
yeah, well, I mean, we do
Solid
that
coin
every
flip,
time.
they tell me.
It's the stupidest running joke that we have in our gameplay series, I think. Is like, cast demonic tutor. I'm gonna grab this card. Well, what did you get? This one right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, like you're wondering, okay, if they're demonic tutoring on turn 2 and they're playing, a land or whatever, did they tutor for the land? That's the kind of question that you want to ask yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is did they keep a really greedy hand and didn't draw their land in their first 2 or 3 draws or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the kinds of questions or the kinds of things that I'm paying attention to in the early game and the mid game. And then when the game's about to end, you're kind of thinking to yourself, how much has this person been sculpting their hand? Um, did they just draw a whole whack of cards, that kind of thing? Because if you've got somebody across from you with 10 cards in hand because they've been, eating from Mystic or more or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
then whatever, like past priority, they've got something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And I know from if you know the engines in a deck, you can start to kind of piece together where they should be in that game, regardless of whether they've used resources or not. I know we had a game where I I believe I just straight called out like 3 possible plays that could happen for Luke, and it actually helps the table if you can say, well, right now he's representing these 3 things. What can we do? And it helps other people sometimes tip their hands, saying, "Oh, okay." Making more people aware of it has been the other way that I have helped get other people more inclined to spend their resources, even if you have it. Most of the time, if we're in a kind of somebody's trying to go off in your first in priority order, I personally always am pushing something at it, but then after that first thing, I'm always letting it pass. Even if I have follow up, I'm not letting that first one go because somebody else needs to be taking care of that. Otherwise, I'm just going to burn myself out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a point that I think is not talked about as much in cEDH that probably should be. If the point is to maximize your chances to win, then spending all of your resources to not lose is not always correct.
Yes.
Because if you spend all your resources and you're basically just going to lose to the next person to go off and you now can't protect anything you have or you have nothing going on, then you're still just losing.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's casting a spell that is 100% going to lose you the game and you are reasonably confident no one else has interaction, yeah, you should counter it because you're gonna lose. But if it is anything other than outright deterministically going to kill you and there's even a chance that other people have interaction, you should be weighing what them spending interaction on this spell will do for your chances to win.
Yeah.
Because someone else is basically the Tassiger principle. Someone else interacting for you means that you actually have a shot at doing it yourself protectively. So I would be paying attention to the magnitude of bad stuff going to happen from the spell being cast. If it is instant loss, yeah, interact. If it is anything other than instant loss and other people have mana open and more than 2 cards in hand, I'm probably passing priority.
Oh, Jim, be careful in the typing. It's really loud.
Oh, sorry. Was that really
Ignore
loud?
it. Slap your face on the keyboard.
No, both Dan and I didn't realize last time how loud our keyboards were, and it was overpowering. So, just be aware. Yeah, I think that's a really solid discussion about when to interact. It is a really challenging. It's almost as challenging as mulligan decisions, because it really depends on the actual game and what's happened, and you can't give solid rules. They're going to be going in and out.
Yeah, the other thing that I would mention is, wrote about this one a little while ago too, is when I'm playing games like that, I've usually got like a deadline, like a must act by whatever action that I have in mind, and you kind of got to constantly update it because it can change throughout the game. But if you're dealing with, I don't know, Animar or something like that, right? Like you don't have to deal with Animar the turn it comes down, unless things change, right? If you see somebody tutoring for a creature, tutoring for an artifact, whatever, that is going to change. But you've got some time, right?
Yeah.
So the longer that you can put off playing your interaction, the more likely that somebody else is going to interact before you, right? Because they might have interaction that actually affects the board state at different stages during what you have to interact with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Rather, the counterspell versus spot removal, where you have to determine whether you need to interact with it on the stack or in play. I have this on my Tassiger primer. There's a section that's just about threat assessment, and it's like, do I care about this? Yes, no. Do I care about it now, or do I care about it in a few turns?
Exactly.
Does it need to be removed? Yeah. Okay, well, who removes it? And you kind of have to go through those questions to figure out when you need to touch something. And it always helps to kind of go back and look at the board state and figure out where you are. Also, talking about that can help other people, and you can guide them through the threat assessment.
That specific point is also something I wanted to mention. The threat assessment knowledge of your pod is incredibly important.
Yes.
Because I have played many pods with many people who had no business making the decisions they were making that fed the game to other people. Bad threat assessment will king make if you play. If you personally play optimally, you can still get like shafted by someone who has no idea what they're doing. It will happen, which is why what Cameron is talking about and the not just subtle misleading of a table through collaborative threat assessment that biases away from you, but actual, real, honest threat assessment discussion that teaches new players.
Yeah.
And it is important for the newest players to clarify the difference, because otherwise they may end up disliking you.
Yeah. No, so that is the thing, is that whenever I'm having a threat assessment discussion, I'm always understanding that I can only see it from my perspective. And if I think I am the most threatening, I'll say, well, if you're wanting to hit something of mine, you want to hit this thing because it's the most threatening. But being honest about that definitely does help teach people who aren't really great at threat assessment to understand what the actual problems are.
Meanwhile, in Lab Maniac pods, Cameron is just like baiting all of us constantly the entire time, fake sulking when we don't give him stuff. His politics are on another level. I can't keep up with that shit. Him and Luke are just, God.
It's good, but
it's tiring. I don't know how you guys have that much energy.
Well, I mean, I learned playing 8.5 Tails. I 100% learned how to play control in mono white where you have to know that you're spending this card and you're getting your full value out of it.
Yeah.
So
You gotta have eye drops on you when you're playing that kind of deck.
yeah.
That's how you win. You cry a lot.
You learn to.
For us. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in our usually what I say, the best bluffs are the ones that make the best use of free information to tell a story that's not actually happening, right?
Yeah.
Is
Very
is
good
that
set.
you're using the information that other people have access to make them think that something else is going on, right? So it's like Cameron mentioned, it's really, really important that sometimes you have to use free information to tell people what is going on, or even derived information
Yeah.
to tell people what actually is going on. Because if you've got a newer player and somebody casts Flash, and they're thinking to themselves, "Oh, I've got time," well,
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
You have the next 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that is really, that is kind of the thing, is understanding and giving you the point of view that you're seeing and painting that picture for them so they can kind of wrap their head around it for sure.
So the moral of this is make sure your pod has a safe word.
Like, no, seriously, guys.
Preferably something else, but sure. It's like your safe word being, "Oh God, stop my eye." It's not very safe, or something. I'm totally not speaking. Whatever. All right.
All right.
Upcoming events.
Yes. So SCG Con, we're a month out. Dan and I.
God, we are. Holy shit.
Yes.
Probably. Yeah. Oh, that is coming up soon. That's cool. That's exciting. I'm going to meet a lab maniac for the first time ever.
Yeah. We actually haven't met in person at all. So this will be the first time that 2 lab maniacs have met each other. I will be with Dan at SCG Con. Then shortly after that, there's GP Seattle. And Jan's going to be making it out here, and I will be there too. So
yeah,
that'll be pretty cool. Then I know upcoming content stuff, we're going to be trying to push out a new gameplay video that is a little bit different than we've done before. It's actually an uncut video. So previously, most of our videos were more like a movie, and this is just us hanging out and having a good time. And there's a lot of shade thrown around. It was a pretty fun game. It was really long.
Define pretty fun, because I was definitely not having fun at like hour 3 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was so fucking done with that game.
So the other reason why we are doing this is because if we cut this down to a standard Lab Maniacs video, this would be upwards of 70 hours of editing. And I do not have the time to do that.
It's that. He doesn't have time for that. He doesn't have time at all for
that. And before that, Jim, you guys have a giveaway you guys are doing.
Yeah, we have something pretty exciting. Our sponsor, face2facegames.com, they sent us a box of War of the Spark, and they said, you got to give this away. And then when we opened the package that they sent us, there were 2 boxes in it. And we said, hey, there's 2 boxes in here. And they said, yep, give one away and do whatever you want with the other one.
Oh, wow.
So we said, okay, great. So we will do a box opening video. So we did a box opening video, and we decided if anybody out there can guess the value of the cards in the box that we open, that we'll give them the other box. So
nice.
Yeah, this one is tight. War is an awesome set, and we filmed the box opening yesterday. So we know what cards were in it. We haven't tallied up the actual value of the box yet, so I can't even tell you if I wanted to.
That's probably safe.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be great. We're going to be airing the box opening video on Monday morning, 7 o'clock Central. And so you'll get to see how much value we open. And if you enter on the link that Dan just sent to the chat, if you enter that contest by Sunday at midnight Central, then you'll have a chance to win the box. So closest to the actual value wins. We're not using Price is Right rules or anything like that, just actual closest to the value of the box. And if there's a tie, we're going to go with the person who guessed first.
Wow. And
Not a brawl, all in fisticuffs, no gloves.
Yeah,
wow.
to the doom.
Really?
Hell.
Oh my gosh. A box of War of the Spark is the prices on them are crazy right now. Jeez.
Yeah, they're plus EV for MSRP. It's actually absurd. Like
Yeah.
the set is stacked.
Yep,
And
Yeah.
it's
the set is sweet.
realistically only going up for the next month or so.
Yeah.
Oh, and I should probably mention that if you're gonna guess in Canadian dollars.
Oh, that's a good point. That is a really
Right?
good point. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is in the rules and everything like that, and it is
Mhm.
form field that says, "Hey, what's your guess?" It says it's in Canadian dollars, and we're face-to-face pricing as of yesterday. Because that
Okay.
was when we opened the box.
Okay. Sounds good.
But yeah, they've been really good to us. So go show them some love if you're Canadian, especially. From
You're breaking up again.
they're awesome. Oh,
He's saying face to face is dope.
Yes.
yep.
They're
That's
the
fact.
Star City of Canada or something. Yeah, that's basically it, right? I'm pretty sure they have a tournament series too or something. Don't
Yes.
know.
Yeah, they do.
I thought they did.
Yeah.
They
I'm
do
not
have a
crazy.
tournament series.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to have a cEDH side event featuring the Spikefeeders at any point?
Oh, no spoilers here.
Mm.
Ooh.
So actually, I'm not actually spoiling anything. I
Yeah, you
should
said
I
no
should be like
spoilers.
I should be like out front and say that there's nothing in the works, but we have proposed something along those lines to
Okay.
them.
That'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So if it works out, it's going to be sweet. Who knows? Maybe we can do some kind of feeder con or something like that. And I have no idea. We're in the middle of nowhere, so if
Yeah,
it
that is
happens,
hard.
it'll probably be in Toronto or Montreal. But like, we are literally 20 hours drive from Toronto. So
If it helps, at least you're in a unified location, so everyone can get to you.
yep, that is true. And we are like in the middle of the continent, just about.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that is the last of our upcoming things.
Yep.
Did anybody have anything else they wanted to mention briefly towards the end before I wrap up?
Nothing from here. Jim, do you got
Nope.
anything else you wanna? All right.
No, I think that's just about it from me.
All right. Well, just before we head out, we've got you over at the Spikefeeders, and then you also have your YouTube channel and your website. And myself and Dan, we're at Lab Maniacs. And again, we have a website and we also have a YouTube channel. You can find us all on Twitter. That's in our name tags. And we also find us in the YouTube comments. We're always there.
Yeah. Are we rating anybody?
You know, we have rated in the
Scotty
past.
is going live with Oathbreaker, I believe.
Yeah.
Him and Dodo, and I think Beyond are all streaming Oathbreaker, and I'm going to join them next time I get a chance when I have an Oathbreaker deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pop in there too.
So we're gonna rate him in about 7, 6, 5. We got like 40 of
Bye,
us.
guys.
Let's massively jump up his group. See you guys. Thanks for
Thanks
joining.
for having me on, guys. Yeah.
All right, bye.
Peace.